Okay, good. You're all here. And you can unmute. Everybody can be heard right now. If you know you have a lot of background noise, then just go ahead and mute. But if you know that you don't, unmute because I want to hear from all of you. First of all, I want to say welcome to the Open Heart series. And this is the first in 3. And the guides very clearly downloaded this through just a couple of weeks ago. And it was very quick. And they were very clear and very concise with the information that they shared. They said that this first one we're going to do during the Virgo sun sign. Everything's going to happen towards the end of the sun sign when we're at the apex of that energy. So Virgo is all about embodying the mental energy, bringing it into the physical, and it rules digestion. And they said, because you are all perceiving so much through the physical, because that's so dominant for your experience, that we're going to start with the physical, the thing that you have tangible evidence of, the thing that you really see, that you very much understand as this is my reality. Irina, were you going to ask me a question? I was in channel mode.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I just came in. I didn't know that you were channeling.
That's okay.
I just was wondering, how long will be the class today?
Oh, the webinar is about 2 hours. It might go over,
Okay.
especially when we have this many people. Yeah, this is, you were in on the very first webinars that we did starting in 2020, and those were like 3 hours. These are shorter than that, but with this many people, and I want to hear from all of you, sometimes we can run a little bit longer than that. So plan for that, and also plan for the rest of the day for your integration. This is huge. And with all of our energies here together, we we create a lot of high vibration together. We're all soul family. If you're attracted to my work, you know that we're soul family. There's no other way. And you're all soul family with each other. We come on here so that, number one, we can meet each other, see each other, spend a moment together once a month. And number two, so that we can shift the vibration, because as you know, the more that we come together, even if it's through the Zoom, as we know, energy is energy. It doesn't matter if we're in person or if we're online, we make great changes. And so when we go under group hypnosis towards the end, before I bring you all up, we do a global meditation. We take literally a few moments to send light to all humans, whether they are considered light workers or not, so that we can raise the vibration of the planet and help everyone. The power of intention and the power of prayer has been scientifically studied and proven, and we do make huge differences. So for this
Hey,
first,
Sonia.
yeah,
real quick,
yeah.
My power just came back on, so I'm going to switch over to my computer. So I'm going to end here and then rejoin.
All good. Thanks, Summer. Yeah, we had a power outage here in the state of Oregon in different places last night. Here in Junction City, going all the way into Eugene, right before midnight, there was a very quick blackout, and Summer is in Southern Oregon, so it clearly affected her. So I'll tell you quickly before we bring Summer on, and then we'll do our breath and our intention so that we can set the vibration for this webinar. But it doesn't matter if you're joining us live or if you're joining us in the living recording. This is a very powerful timestamp. And however often that you listen to it, however often that you do it, you're going to benefit from it. You're going to get so much out of this, regardless of when you do this. So the first one, Virgo, is about digestion. It's about cleansing. It's about clearing. It's about detoxing. And it's not just about detoxing your physical body, but it's also about detoxing your mind. So it's going to bring us into next month's webinar, which is Open Heart 2. And that's focused on the sign of Libra, and Libra is air, and it's all about the mind and the mental body. So the guides shared with me, we're going to be focusing on clearing the mind, the thoughts that clog the heart center. And also Libra is about relationships. So something that's been kind of popping up a lot in the last 2 days, it's just been coming up very quickly, is our codependency upon our egos and how we reflect that back to each other. So that's going to be addressed in the October webinar through the Libra sun sign and the balance that we have to create in order to clear the heart. And then the last one, the third one in the Open Heart series, is in November, and that's under the sun sign of Scorpio. And that's a water sign that rules the emotional body, and how we need to clear the emotional body. Because remember, what sets us in a different tone than what they tell me in the ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective, keep sharing this with me. What sets us different from that, from all the other galactic groups, is that we have an emotional body and a mental body. Both of those were combined into these dense physical bodies to see how much bigger that we can become, how much more we can create through the emotional and the mental body combined. It's not easy, you guys. It's not easy to have an emotional and a mental body. It's something that has to be mastered, to master the thoughts and to master the emotions, energy and motion, so that the physical body is always a clear, open conduit of light and dark. Because remember, we want to experience our dark. We have to have the contrast in order to manifest. If we were always in the light, everything is there for us. We don't manifest in the light because it's all present and we know it, and it's boring. It's just really boring. And so we love to lower our vibration and come into this dense vibration and see the physical bodies in the physical realm. And we love the play of the emotions. We love the play of the thoughts. We love how we cannot control them. And then the mastery, the game of playing into learning to control them so that we can fine tune our frequency and create the reality that we really do desire. And yes, you do want to suffer. You love the drama. And yes, you do love the chaos, or you wouldn't be here experiencing it. I know it's the ego. It's always the ego that goes, oh my God, could this get any better, please? Really, as a soul, you love this. You completely love this game, and it is a game. And the guides keep reminding me, this is a game, and you're the creator of it above you, and you're the player of it here on ground zero. So on that note, let's take a breath and set our intention. So please sit up tall, bring your shoulder blades together, widen your ribs. I want you to really focus on opening up your physical heart, bringing the shoulder blades together, really widening the ribs and giving the physical heart space. It is a muscle on the physical, but it is literally human central in the body. Everything goes into the heart center, and the heart literally emanates everything back out. So I really want you to focus literally on the physical heart. And for some of us, it's not so far left anymore. As we are ascending, it starts to move more towards the middle of the chest. It's not in the middle for everybody. I've met a couple people online who tell me that theirs is literally in the middle of their chest. And they're like, I don't know when it went there, but that's now where it's at. Mine is more moving towards the left central, I've noticed in the last couple of years. So like really tune into your heart and feel, and if it's to the left, that's fine. Feel where your heart is in the chest. Close your eyes. I want you to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths only through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. And keep breathing. Last breath. Now take 3 more breaths from a space of centered, calm, self-loving, self-nurturing. Feel your body. How does your physical body feel today? And accept all states of being that you're in. And now I'm going to set the intention. Our intention is to relax, to trust source, the isness, the oneness, the universe, whatever your name is for your higher aspect. To be open, to clear the heart on all levels, and to open to our higher self in the physical. We are allowing our human self to trust the information that comes in, aligning within as a spark of source, centering in our heart, literally in our physical heart, feeling our experience in life, and grounding is light. We are in the lower vibrations, the lower frequencies, to learn to love our whole self through the most challenging experiences. It's necessary for our growth so that we expand into higher consciousness. And we are now more present in this moment. So be it. Put your hands on your heart. Tune into your heart. All your answers are within you. Take a breath. Good. And open your eyes. So the light language that I channeled as you're all coming in, and again, the gratitude is for peace. And I'm offering that is your gratitude for this webinar right now, is for peace within you. Because as the guys have been sharing with me, we are moving into a really, really intense moment as we are starting to come towards the end of 2022. And there is the word is fight. I know you keep that Pleiadians keep telling me it's a fight. There's a fight for our vibration. There's a fight for our vibration. And they want our vibration. They want us to pay attention to what they want us to pay attention to so that they can continue to feed off of our vibration. So the advertising, all of the enticements, all of it, they want us to continue going towards the trajectory in 2030 of that great reset. And it's getting very intense. And that's why the lion beings have been coming in a lot in the last 4 days. If you've been seeing more cats, if you've been seeing any lions, if you've been seeing, some people have told me that they've actually seen license plates that say, be bold, open your heart, self-love. And that's not in Sedona. That's literally like, one of my clients, she's in Ohio, and she was like, I just saw a license plate you just mentioned on your YouTube channel about the lion beings and be bold. I literally saw a license plate right before I watched your YouTube vlog that said be bold. And she said, and then a cat ran across the street. And she said, it's literally coming up. So a lot of people are sharing with me that they're seeing a lot more cats. Of course, if you're a cat person, which I think a lot of us here are, you're going to see, yes, Summer, that's chonky, isn't it? So you're going to see a lot more of that. And the feline energy is not only be bold, but be flexible. Be flexible because of all the changes that are happening. So everything that you know, it is really shifting. Everything that we're comfortable with really is shifting. And I've been seeing more people like Jason Shurka, and there's a couple other, Lee Harris of Lee Harris Energy Intuitive. There's several other intuitives that have been talking about the finances are changing and they are crumbling. And I watched 2 others the other day. I can't remember who they are now. They said the same thing, that the finances are shifting and changing. So here is the light codes. The Arcturians came in first. Arcturian light codes for heart strength, codes for clearing. Those are the top codes. And then the 9th dimensional Pleiadian collective came in with the break your heart open for love. All love is self-love. And then this is a combination, what I had spoken out loud, the words that they share. This was a combination of multiple groups. Some of them I heard, some of them I didn't. So these are the light codes for our webinar today. It's very powerful. So It's absolutely essential as we move into higher vibrations that we clean and clear our body out. There's no other way. We are in the physical. And so Virgo is about cleansing. It's about cleansing the digestive system so that all other systems, the muscular, the skeletal, the endocrine, the nervous system, the circulatory system, and then there's the digestive system, they all are supported because what you eat is where you're vibrating at. And I know that most of you know this. Most of you have been working with me for a while and you know this. It's one thing to know it. It's one thing to talk about it. But what I have found in my, oh gosh, more than 15 years of focusing really intensely on nutrition, and then my journey into becoming a plant-based nutritionist, a certified nutritionist, I've noticed that people love to talk about it, but they really don't actually want to live that way. They literally want the food that everybody else is eating, that's very comfortable, that they know from their childhood, because we connect emotions to food. And so what we're going to be doing in the group hypnosis is I'm not taking you to another life. They're taking you into your childhood. It's going to be group hypnotherapy today. They're taking you into your childhood and they want you to go in and find the root of where the food addictions start from. And they start from birth. They literally do. We're going to take you literally into in utero to what your mother was eating when she was pregnant with you, because you've got to go back to there. And we're going to go in and we're going to shift it. We're going to shift literally from the food that you associate with your mother, that you connect with nurturing, into actual real high vibrational, high electrical content food that is really what's designed for this body. None of us here on this webinar, whether you're seeing this recorded or live, none of us were born to a mother who was eating a really healthy diet for the human body, which is literally a fruit and salads diet. That is the diet that was designed for the human, the Homo sapien body. We are not carnivores. That is not food for us. You would never look at a cow out in a pasture and go, yummy, I really want to go out and take a bite out of that. You wouldn't. You would never do that. But if you were a feline, you would. And you would run after it, you would stalk it and hunt it, and you would go and you would kill it fresh, suck its blood, and eat its flesh right away. That's what you would do. And so, because that's not how we're designed for high electrical, high fibrous foods, and nature makes it for us perfectly. And it's so delicious and it's accessible right there. And our teeth are designed for it. Our teeth are designed to rip off the flesh of the skin of the fruit and chew the leaves, and the grinders in the back are designed to chew the fiber down so that you literally move your saliva, which has an enzymatic action with the chemistry of the food. There are codes in the food, in the fruit, and in the leaves and ground leaves, ground fruit, bush leaves, and tree fruit and tree leaves. You're literally designed, your enzymes in your saliva have codes in them that mix with the codes in the fruit and the leaves, and your body recognizes those codes. They're like codes, and they synergistically work in your body to completely electrify it, to give it energy, but to also to ground you and to keep you very rooted in your body. It's literally hardcore science that I studied long ago with a wonderful teacher, Dr. Gabriel Cousens. I studied in his spiritual nutrition conscious eating program. I did not graduate from his school because he closed the program before I was able to really get into it, because he wanted to go around the world and start promoting his 30 days juicing to reverse diabetes. And that was his real true calling. So that was something I worked on with him. And then there's other doctors. There's Dr. Adiel Tel-Oren, who's known as Dr. T, who has his Ecopolitan Health Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I worked with him many times. I worked with the Clement doctors who own Hippocrates Health Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, that used to be the Ann Wigmore Institute on Wheatgrass. And Dr. Brian Clement is amazing and has incredible scientific facts. And I worked with a man who is verifiably, absolutely crazy off his rocker, but man, his scientific information and his experience is amazing. And it's Dr. David Jubb. And he's nuts. He's from New Zealand. He will just like break out in weirdness, but man, he knows his stuff when it comes to hardcore science. And I studied with him in person several times, and he's incredible. So what I learned from them and what I've learned from my experience over the years working with clients in my own life is that you have to work with the physical in order to cleanse your body, in order to raise your vibration. And the food that you take into your body is the nourishment that your body takes. And you don't want your body to work very hard at getting its nourishment. The harder the body works, the more taxing it is on the system. So when you eat the food that's designed for these human bodies, it doesn't have to work that hard, and your body can take more energy to clear out pathogens, toxins, more mental clarity, more emotional clarity, because you have a mental body and an emotional body in your light field, in your auric field, and your body is always clearing that. Now, we're taught a lot of the time not to express our emotions, and those are energy and motion. So those also have to flow. So if you're holding on, if you're repressing emotions, which we all do, if you're repressing those, then your body has to work extra hard to filter those and try to clear those. And then of course, there's the repetitive thoughts. There's the thoughts that are constantly ruminating. Remember, no thoughts are original. We are a collective consciousness. All the thoughts that go out into the field are constantly going to bounce back off of all of our fields. And your body, your field is designed to pick up all of those thought codes, those mental codes, take them in, and then turn them around, and then put your own energy, your own diverse perception into the thoughts. Then you put them back out into the field. So know that you are an antenna. All these bodies are vertical. We're upright. We are literally antenna. We are electrical rods that we are always receiving light. And we are also always giving light. We are emanating light. Always. It never ends. The reason that we sleep is that your soul needs a break, wants to be free of this and goes out and flies. And your body needs a chance to clear out very quickly. And it can do that more easily when your soul is not in it. You're still attached to it by the silver cord at the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus, but you are not fully in it. So the body can clear. So cleansing is essential. Whether you do literally a 24-hour water only fast, it's very effective. It's much easier. It's much easier. Somebody's got a throat chakra. Who feels like their throat chakra is clogged? Okay, I'm clearing your throat chakra. I got attacked.
Wow.
That happens because my throat chakra is the most dominant chakra in my body, besides my heart and my brow. So I'll pick up the hit from somebody and I'll clear your throat for you. So drink lots of water, those of you that are having throat chakra clogging, because that hit me hard.
Oh, you won. Thanks.
Clear your throat, Robert. Drink some water. So whether you're going to do a 3-day juice cleanse, I promise you, if you do a 3-day juice cleanse and you drink so much juice, every time you think you're hungry, you drink juice, you will not be hungry. Not ever. But what will happen when you're on any cleanse or any fast, and let's get clear, fasting is water only. You can do water. You can also do living salt. You can do Himalayan crystal salt. You can do Celtic sea salt. That doesn't stimulate the pancreas to produce insulin. If you're on a fast, your pancreas will not produce insulin and your body will heal very, very quickly. If you are doing juicing, that's a cleanse, your body will still produce insulin, the pancreas will, but it's going to be so much less because in the juice, you're not going to have a whole lot of fiber. There's usually a little bit of fiber. You can strain it as much as possible. But on a juice cleanse, Somebody's scared of the cleanse, perhaps. As I'm talking about cleansing and fasting, usually the ego is like, oh, don't take away my food for a day, 3 days on a juice cleanse. I don't know if I can handle that. Yes, you can. I lived for a year and a half on juice. I have one witness here for that. She watched me. Sonia. Sonia knew me on my year and a half juice cleanse. It was intense. I got really thin and I freaked everybody out, but I got really clean and she watched me transform. I changed dramatically. Yes. And I'm so glad I did it because I cleared out a crazy amount of bile stones in my liver and gallbladder. And I cleared my skin. I cleared mercury. I cleared heavy metals out of my system. I cleared so much. It completely changed me on all levels. And as I was getting through it, I was able to let go of relationships that didn't work for me. I was able to let go of a body that wasn't working for me. My body did not work for me. And I was done birthing 1 billion kids at that point. So it works. And I also was continuing to work people out. Sonia was one of my clients in Pilates and yoga. I was literally able to do all this stuff and raise 3 kids pretty much myself. So if I can do a cleanse, you can do 3 days. You could do 3 days of a juice cleanse. If you want to just do lemon water for a day, the lemon will still stimulate your pancreas to produce some insulin, but not a lot because lemon is very low in glucose. But it works. If you want to do a 14-day juice cleanse, it is profound. I have a protocol. And if you're interested in doing it, please message me. You can email me and I guide you through the cleanse protocol. I do not charge for this. I do not charge for this. It is very comprehensive. It's very detailed. It is a compilation of all of the above doctors that I mentioned previously, all of their juice cleanses, plus my own year and a half, plus all of my clients. At this point, I've guided several thousand clients on a juice
I'm
cleanse.
one of them, and
You
I
are.
can attest for people who didn't do it. I strongly encourage it. I did not feel hungry. I felt great. I shed some bondage, like fatty tissue, which store a lot of negative energy. It probably, I felt the greatest in my life going through this. And actually, when going back to solid foods, my body kind of rejected it. I didn't feel good at first at all. So, and then I said to myself, oh, I'm going to do it once a week. I'll do that one day like this. And that didn't happen. And surely now my body is start gaining weight again. I need to shed 20 extra pounds. So as of now, so I strongly encourage it. I'm going to start doing it. And Sonia, can you suggest when should we best go? I know there's always good time to start it, but is there any good timing wise, like with equinoxes or things like that, when started in a certain time of the month or whatever, which will give us the most benefit to do that?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Thank you, Irina. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I would just want to share before I tell you that with best times, your juice cleanse was profound. Your dedication to it was amazing. And your transformation was incredible. You had definitely one of the most powerful 14-day juice cleanse transformations that I've seen out of my clients. So you guys, it is really absolutely powerful and amazing. The optimal times of the year to do a juice cleanse or fasting are the equinoxes and the solstices, obviously, because those are portals. And we're coming up on one this week. So Thursday, the 22nd, it's later this year, is the vernal equinox for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. The autumnal. Vernal equinox for those in the Southern Hemisphere. It is the autumnal equinox. For those of us on the West Coast, it's a little bit after 6:00 p.m. is when the sun goes into Libra and we start autumn. So when the seasons change, it's a huge portal. It's a wonderful opportunity to clear your entire system. And I highly recommend it. Whether you just do 1 day of a water fast, 1 day of a lemon water cleanse, that's a flush or a cleanse to do lemon water. Whether you do a 1 to 3 day juice cleanse, or whether you do a full 14-day juice cleanse. 14-day juice cleanse is optimal. It's amazing. What it will show you is, number one, that we are addicted to solid food. We are addicted to solid food. We just don't need solid food in the way that we're using it. And every time I do a cleanse, every single day, and I intermittent fast, so I don't eat until between 3:30 and sometimes as late as 6:30 in the day. Just depends on how busy I am. I find that I am incredibly productive when I haven't eaten anything. I literally just drink living spring water, literally, until right before I drink tea. Then I drink tea. Unless right now, I'm on a parasite cleanse. I'm on a wormwood cleanse. So I have this close by so that when we're done with the webinar, I can get that in my tea. And my tea is green tea. I do drink green tea late in the afternoon and to cleanse my digestive system and get it set up. So now that we're on that with the guides I just heard, tell them about that. So important that you prepare your digestive system for solid food every day, whether that's room temperature or warm lemon water. That's essential because the lemon, once you drink it, the enzymes in your saliva actually alkalize it. It's no longer acidic. All citrus has this effect, but especially lemons. If you are going to drink lime juice, please see if you can find yellow limes because those are ripe. Green limes are not ripe. And it's literally the green color that we associate with limes. It's just because it's how they differentiate it from lemons, but literally ripe limes are yellow. And when you have ripe limes, they literally have way more flavor than green unripened limes. I'm blessed now to live close to Eugene in Central Oregon at one of the most amazing health food stores here, Sundance Health Food Stores. They actually let their limes ripen in the basket. Some people bring them in from the orchards locally. And so I do find yellow and mostly yellow limes, and there's a profound difference. So lemon water, and make sure that it's either room temperature or warm. You do not want to put cold liquids in your body. Ever. Let's repeat that. You do not want to put, Sonia, you do not want to put cold liquids in your body. Don't drink cold sugar drinks. Don't ever drink cold drinks. If you go to Asia, they think we're crazy for drinking cold drinks. If you go to Europe, they don't understand why we drink cold drinks. It is so damaging to your digestive system. In Ayurveda, in East Indian medicine, cold liquids create a vata imbalance so that your entire system is like, oh gosh, and it starts to swell and it creates methane and you get gas and bloating from cold liquids. Yes. And we are so addicted in North America to cold liquids. When I went to South America, nobody was drinking cold liquids. There wasn't cold liquid anywhere. And I took note of that. They didn't have refrigerated coconut water or refrigerated bottled water. It was just sitting out on the counter, or they'd ask if you want some water, and it was always room temperature. And I was taking note of that. I'm like, interesting. So if you like ice, it's great for injuries. Place it topically. Don't put it in your body. No ice in your gut. If you have gas and bloating issues, look to see if you're drinking cold liquid or if you're drinking anything icy. Also, eating frozen food, I know, but it's not optimal. So if you're having smoothies with frozen fruit in it and you're having gas and bloating, that's why. Frozen smoothies are fast food. They're not optimal. I know they're a great transition for people who are coming off of a standard American diet, but they're not going to help your system. I was a smoothie queen years ago. Again, Sonia knew me when I was a smoothie queen, and my body was just like finally going, would you stop? Stop this. I want the whole food. My body kept saying to me, I want whole food. That's what our bodies are designed for. If you're eating solid food, whole food. And that has the electricity in it. Picked off of a tree, picked off of the bush, and picked from the ground is optimal, which is why here in the Pacific Northwest, U-Pick farms are so popular. Because when you go to U-Pick farms and you get to eat while you pick, you get that wonderful electricity right away. You become satiated quickly. Who here has gone to a U-Pick farm ever? It's an amazing experience. It's incredible. You notice you get full so fast and you're like, I want to keep eating. It tastes so good. I can't eat anymore. That's the way it should be when we eat. Every time we eat, it should be, this is so good. I can't get enough. And oh my gosh, I'm so satiated. I'm so satisfied. And literally when you get the electricity, it's not only that I can't eat anymore, but it's, I don't want to eat anymore. Who here has experienced a standard American diet Thanksgiving dinner and your body is so full, but you want to eat more?
Mhm.
Because of the sugar addiction, because that is such a starchy, sugary meal, and it creates a dopamine effect and you get addicted. Your brain becomes addicted to all that starch and all that sugar and maple and blah, 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 all of it. So what happens when you eat unwhole food, when you eat dead food, denatured food that's been cooked and processed and all of that, is that it literally cuts off the stomach to brain signal of, hey, we're full, shut down, we don't want any more. Science has proven this. So when you eat living food, when you eat literally, if you eat fruit and you feel satiated and you're eating fresh fruit, you suddenly don't want any more. It literally, there is that stomach to brain connection. And it's like, hey, we're full now, we're good, and you lose your appetite. There's no craving. If you eat a bunch of blueberries or blackberries or raspberries and you eat and eat and eat, you become very satiated and satisfied, and there's other things to do now. I want to go do something else, and you don't want to eat anymore. Observe this. This is something that the guides are saying. The Arcturians are coming in and saying it's important that you observe yourself when you're eating, which means, and I'm hearing them say, which means you got to take yourself off the devices when you eat. Don't watch a screen when you eat. Look at your food when you eat. Okay, I got it. When you are eating, looking at your food, you will stop and you will focus on how you feel. You will slow down and you will focus on how you feel. You will slow when you eat. You will chew. You will appreciate the food, its nourishment. Humans are not taking enough of a nourishment break. Humans are so busy in the mental body up here. Humans have cut off from their emotional body and they're not feeling. It's absolutely essential that you all begin to focus back on the food, the nourishment, the connection from the external nourishment to the physical body. This is one key way to clear the heart. The heart must be cleared through what it is that you eat, and fruit and salads are literally designed by source, literally offered to you through nature in an offering of opening up the heart. Fruit literally clears any old stuck codes in the digestive system, old stuck codes in the circulatory system, old stuck codes in all of the systems, all the codes from the light. It's a light offering to you from the external. It's a reflection back to you of who you truly are through the physical food that is provided to you from nature. Trees are a conduit of giving. That's all trees do for you is give to you. And so when you take that in, you are literally receiving in your heart, and that affects you not only in the physical level, but also on the emotional level, the mental level, and all the spiritual levels with all of the light bodies in the field. Remember, your physical body is the root. It's the center. Think of the onion, the center of the onion, and all of the layers around the center root is the auric field that protects and nourishes and emanates the physical body and puts out codes and receives codes back into the physical body. It's very important that you all understand this, that you all literally are clear on this. Okay. Does that feel clear for everybody?
Can you
Good.
repeat the thing about the skin? I kind of went somewhere else for a second. What you said about the onion skin. Can you just
Thank you.
repeat?
Hang on. I have to recall because I was channeling. Just a
Oh.
moment. Let me get it.
Thank you.
Mhm. The onion, the analogy of the onion, the center of the onion is the root. It's the same as your body. Your body is the root of your entire system. The root of the onion is like the human body, and all of the layers that move out from the onion and go out and out and out and out are all of the different light bodies of the onion. That represents all of your light bodies of your system. And the physical body is the heart, the root.
Okay.
Does that feel clear?
Mhm.
Good. So I want to hear from you all about how any of you that have experienced or noticed, and I know particularly 2 of you are very in tune with nutrition or a nutritionist. This is your whole life focus. I want to hear from you about how you notice the difference from the diet that you were raised with to being on a plant-based diet, and see if you could keep it like 2 minutes or less. But I want you to just share with everybody how you've noticed your life or who you are or how your physical body is from the diet you were raised with into a diet that you consciously moved into more. I want to hear from Sonia first, because they're telling me Sonia needs to speak.
Well, briefly for me, I was raised on a farm. So I was experiencing through my body a lot of death because there were so many animals being killed, and I was, privy to all of it. I could watch any of it. And so what I noticed is that at a very young age, there was something inside of my body running my body that didn't feel like me. And when I stopped eating all of that when I was like 17, and I'm 47 now, I noticed immediately, not only did I have more control over my emotions, but everything about me matched me. Like I felt really airy and light, and I don't know. I was a completely different person. And my name growing up is Sonia, but at that point I decided I wanted to go by the pronunciation Sonia. So it went from constriction, like just feeling like death. That's how I felt. It's just felt like death in my body, to Sonia, open, light, everything lightened, everything.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sonia. Liam, share what you've noticed because you've been changing your diet quite a bit this year.
I'm feeling a lot lighter and better. I've gotten rid of all the acid reflux and GERD issues I had. And like my eyes, dry eye seems to be disappearing, and I'm losing a lot of my desire for the routine diet. I'm not off it completely, but I've switched quite a bit.
That's wonderful.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing, Liam. Julie, you've also been doing some big shifts this year. What have you noticed in your diet at all?
Well, when I eat clean and eat fresh foods, my body just is filled with all that prana and electricity, and it feels so wonderful. And then when I eat the naughty things, you can tell immediately. It's like a rock hits you. So yeah, it's conscious eating, like you say. Yes.
Yeah. I love that. It's like when you eat what's naughty, it's like a rock hits you. It's so true.
It's horrible.
It's so hard. And I want to share with you guys, because I have been eating a high vibrational diet since 2007, literally since spring equinox of 2007, when I went on a cleanse. And then try eating cooked food
even like 5 grains of cooked rice after you've been literally just juice cleansing and eating nothing but raw living plants. And it literally like put me down into a coma. That's what it's like, especially when you're very sensitive. I'm very sensitive, but it's like literally you'll notice those kind of contrasts as you start moving towards a high vibrational diet, high electric food compared to very dense vibrational food. And we're speaking in vibration here. I really want you, and they really want you to really get the difference in vibration. We want to sometimes experience some denser vibration, like nuts are very dense in vibration. And I know many of us here are really not able to eat nuts very much right now because the body is rejecting them. My body has rejected nuts, and nuts are very dense in vibration. And sometimes when you feel like you're not in the current now, that's when it's like the craving for almonds or walnuts or whatever comes in. And it's like, I feel like I should eat it. Then do and try it, because maybe you're not being so present right here, right now. Like any kind of plant food that feels heavier, if you're a person who's transitioning from an animal, a lower vibrational diet, then you're going to want to eat more nuts. You're going to want to eat a lot of avocado and coconut. You're going to want to eat those heavy, fattier, more dense plant foods to help you. I did. We all did. Those of us that are in a higher vibrational diet regularly, we all had to go through that. And you are the only one who's going to know when you need to eat those denser foods and then when you want to let them go and lighten your vibration. It's literally, the algorithm of the universe where the energy goes up, the energy goes down. And when the energy goes up, you're feeling great. When the energy goes down, maybe you're still up here too much and you need to get into your body. And so you do need some of those denser fruits and vegetables in order to help you to do that. I can't eat young Thai coconut much. My body let me know this year, but when it comes into season, I'll usually have 1 or 2 now. And then it's like, oh, wow, like that's a lot of fat. and then like my body feels like, yeah, okay, that was really good. And then I don't need it anymore. And then it's like, I literally just, this year was just like with young Thai coconut, because we get that imported here on the West Coast. It was just like, oh yeah, no, this is just not working for me. Whereas in 2020, I was eating 2 a day for like 5 months because I was adjusting to the huge shifts in 2020. So you just have to play around with that yourself. Irina, you already shared with us about the cleanse, your wonderful cleanse. What have you noticed about when you eat really well? And of course, you were born and raised in Russia, so you were not born and raised on a standard American diet. But like, what have you noticed?
Yeah, it's not a standard American diet, but there's a lot of cooked foods. This season, more than half of the year you snowed out, and it's just really hard to find any fresh fruits and vegetables. And I remember I always have been gravitated as a child to green, fresh fruits and vegetables. And if there was a lack of it during winter, my mom was telling me a story that I would go and pick leaves from the house plants. And it's kind of funny. But the best treat for me was a greenhouse cucumber would come in like in a later in March area time frame. I didn't want ice cream. I didn't want chocolate. I didn't want anything. Just give me that green cucumber. It's such a treat. So, but there was a shortage of that fresh fruit, especially in the communist time. But eating meat always from even childhood, it was my least favorite food. I hated it, and hated it. So, but I was kind of force-fed this type of food, with the build and everything. I grew up with my grandmother who had a Spartan discipline. So I had been beaten up just in order to eat that meat food and cook cabbage and that sort of thing. I would rather eat it fresh, right? So, but that's kind of my childhood. How do I feel on a plant-based diet? I feel light. I have a lot of energy. I feel very balanced. My body has a perfect weight. I feel very strong to do things I want to do. I feel emotionally stable and feel very mighty about where my life going, and have a great attitude about life, the gratitude and that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I noticed. But as soon as I slip, that's when, you know, my body started accumulate negative emotions in the fat. I start bulk up, and it's just kind of vicious cycle. And I think that I need to move back into the light with a plant diet food and juicing again. It worked really beautiful for me. And thank you, Sonia, for introducing that to me, and just was a true blessing in my life.
Wonderful. Thank you, Irina, for sharing. You are most welcome. Yeah, you're all going to find it in your own journey. Everybody has their own journey on this, and everybody has their own timeline. Does anybody else want to share a couple of minutes? Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, so for me, before the raw foods, I had a lot more fear and a lot more worry and social anxiety. And yeah, it was full of acne and on my shoulders and my chest and my back. Just lots of seasonal allergies that I know you can still get allergies eating clean, but man, like all allergies just went away when I just moved towards raw food. Especially when I got rid of milk and dairy, that's when my acne started going away, the mucus started going away. And then just the more and more raw living foods that I ate, I felt more in tune with myself and in tune with my joy. Just the natural joy came from nowhere. And it's authentic and real when it's just there, no reason, like there's no reason. It's just, you're just joyful. And it was like it was like this rebirthing for me. Just the more I ate raw food, is just, whoa, this is awesome. And it just made me want to share it with other people. And like, that's what I love doing now, is just sharing that with other people. And I feel like the food is connected to every aspect of your life. It changes the way you view others. It changes the way you relate by receiving the messages you need to receiving the right people at the right time, the ideas, everything. It just helps you to be more clear. It's like, to me, I imagine, like, for me, it was like before the raw foods, if I was, we are on antennas, the antenna had a bunch of mud and crap on it, and the raw foods helped me to clear that out of the way. And so yep.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Jeremy. Thank you
You're welcome
for sharing. Viv, did you want to say something?
Sure. Yeah. So, I started in my world with nutrition in my 20s. And I think, I was with Ann Wigmore and Kolvinskis in the Survival into the 21st Century. And I think I was a vegan probably for 10 years, maybe 15, honestly, but there was no word for it back then.
No, vegan or total vegetarian is what they call it.
I don't know what they called it. I didn't eat eggs or cheese or any of that. But anyway, I noticed a huge shift when I stopped eating grain. That was a big one, because I was eating veggies and grain and some fruit, of course. I wasn't really eating any nuts or seeds. But anyway, I had a spiritual teacher that said, you need to eat meat to have a baby. And so we went and got a meat thing, a chicken at Safeway, and I devoured it in 2 seconds. So I paid attention to that. I'm like, because I could never eat tofu or any of that stuff. And so I've been on a journey all these many, many years of like, what is my body telling me? And not what am I reading in a book or in a magazine or somebody telling me that works for them, like what really works for you. So I've been through a lot, the closest friends I've had here are both naturopathic vaccinated doctors who have been after me with the blood type diet forever. And I'm a B blood type. So meat is really important, lamb, right? And so, every time I'm around them, that experience happens where she says, you're not eating enough protein, but whatever. So my point is that I remember when I first ate fish when I was married to the first husband, and I'm like, holy shit, there's my brain. Where was my brain? Oh my God. So I believed that fish was really important for my brain. And I've done a lot of fasting in my life. I've definitely done, I believe it was 14 before I conceived Sammy. You know, and I haven't done much fasting in the last many years, and I have eaten meat in the last year on and off when my body says, eat some animal protein, eat some animal protein. And of course, meeting Sonia, you know, it's hard to eat animal protein and be her friend. So, you know, but I'm like, no, you're too intense. I'm following my body here. Well, in the last few weeks, and I have a close friend that we all know, or at least 3 of us know, who's like a major meat eater and obviously didn't show up at this seminar for a reason. But, you know, in the last few weeks, I've been like, holy shit, there it is, the desire to cleanse. Oh, where have you been, queen? You know, so I'm like really feeling it and excited. And all I can think about are the grapes hanging on my vine out there that I haven't eaten anything today yet, other than some green tea and water. So, you know, like I can't wait to suck on those, you know. Oh my God. Because I also went through a period where I was taught no fruit, because you have insulin resistance. So I was eating green apples and blueberries. That's it. And my God, you know, like Sonia kept saying, you got to eat fruit, dude. And I'm like, oh my God, the first time I ate a banana, which I know isn't supposed to be the best one, but I'm like, oh my God, there's the sweet, there's the love I've been missing, you know. So I'm in process with whatever, but I'm totally excited about lightening it all up. I think Jason Shirka's starting tomorrow a 3-day thing with his group, and I'm going to do it. And who knows, I might do it longer, but I feel the new energy coming in and saying, no, you got to lighten it up. So I'm super excited. I'm sure I could say more, but that's where I'm at. And I don't give myself a label at all, ever. I don't believe in that.
That was awesome, Viv.
Thank
Wait,
you.
I'm glad I recorded that. I might
good.
just edit that and make that the best like stand up on
Stand-up nutrition.
stand up comedy on the vegan path, the struggle. The struggle.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
And there's a lot of programming, everybody. There's a lot of programming and the commercials. So the, you know, big pharma wants your money and they want your energy, and they're the ones who they own the dairy industry. They own the other white meat industry. They own all of that. They own the fast food joints. They own Coca-Cola, McDonald's. They own all of it. It's all them. And they're going to put out anything, and they're going to pay their big dogs, Dr. Oz, I'm not even going to say the rest of the names. You know who I'm talking about. If they've been on Oprah, yeah, you gotta question that. You really do. You gotta question that. I do. Yep. So they put out their big guns, Deepak Chopra. They put out their big guns.
Totally.
And they try to sway you, and they want you to buy their books, and they want you to put a lot of money. Those are franchises. When it comes to a high vibrational diet, it is super affordable. I do not pay a lot of money for my food. It should be really local. It should be wild organic. You guys, you could all eat almost 100% for free if you would forage your food. Seriously. I got into foraging when I was at the end of the marriage, and it was profound. And I did it in Portland Metro. I literally did it. And I know Portland's a green city, not so green anymore, but it was greener then. And I literally ate wild food. And I have foraged food here in the Southern Willamette Valley with my oldest son. And we have picked some wonderful greens and some berries. And people have wild apples falling off their tree right now. This is the harvest time. I'm telling you, people in their yards are not spraying their food. Literally, that is free food. It is there for you. You just have to do some research. And Rob Greenfield. I want to say Rob Greenfield. I love him. He put on his website a site to find a forager. There is Dr. Robert Callis in the Portland Metro area. That's who I went through. There is a guy here in Eugene area, and I will
I've got to remember, I got to make a note, and somebody make a note and remind me via Telegram that I need to put out in the email when I send this all living recording to you, that I'm putting Rob Greenfield's website on there that he has a link to where you can find people who know how to forage and they're all over the country. They're all over the US. That can teach you, people who are willing to literally take you out into the field and do foraging with you. Wild food is best. It's best for your entire system. It's best for your heart. It's best for your brain, which is the mental heart. It's best for your gut, which is the emotional heart. Your heart here is for the soul. This is the spiritual heart. This is where the soul is supposed to come in and perceive through. And when you clean up your diet and when you eat a higher vibrational diet, you feel more. You feel more. You feel more vibration. All of your psychic abilities heighten. So this is something that's super key for all of you. This was what happened to me in my journey into a higher vibrational diet, is I became more psychic. And I was already psychic, but there were lots of blocks. I could not hear my guides. Yes, Jeremy, you do become more of yourself. Thank you. You do. I literally became calmer, and I'm not a calm personality. You all know that about me. I'm not designed to be a calm personality. You don't put this much Mercury and this much fire in one astrological chart and expect calm to happen. But the diet, totally, it's true. When I eat just super simple, I become very focused and I come into my body and I can get control of it. There's a lot of electricity that moves through my body, and I'm pretty much betting that there's a lot of electricity that moves through all of your bodies as well. Totally. I happen to know for Sonia, for Jeremy, for Viv, for Irina, for Summer, and for Sarah, you have a lot of electricity that moves through your body. I don't know Julie well enough yet. And I know that Liam is generally calm, but I also know that Liam is sharp as a tack and doesn't miss a whole lot. So I know that Liam is the perceiver in the space from what he shared with me. So, and for Robert, I don't know you at all, but perhaps you will have some sessions with me and I can get to know you. So you will come into yourself so much more. Thank you. The Arcturians have come in and they're sharing. They said, remember to share. I also learned how to accept all aspects of myself through a clean, high vibrational diet. And that was something that I was having a really difficult time with. We all have that difficult time. Self-bashing, I don't feel good. If you don't feel good in your body, you're not going to want to get into your heart.
Right.
If you don't feel good, if you've eaten a meal and you want to pass out and you're going into a coma, that's not the right meal for you. If you've eaten a meal and you want to keep eating, that's not the right meal for you. You should eat just enough, just to fill the stomach enough so you feel satisfied and satiated and you have sustainable energy and you feel like, okay, now I need to go out for a walk and I would like to talk with people. You have the sense of balance and grounding. That's what your food should do for you. I am not using the V words. We've used vegan, we've used vegetarian, but that's not this diet I'm talking about, because those have political stigma to them. I got rid of the vegan word a long time ago. I don't even qualify, you guys, because I eat beet products. And in the vegan political world, that's a, oh my God, you're eating animal and and they did this for you. And I'm like, I'm out. I can't talk to you people. Beet products are amazing. They're incredible. They're super healing. I love beet products. So we're not even talking about bee products, by the way. Bee food is living food, just so you all know. And if you know your beekeeper, in Portland, I knew my beekeeper in Gaston, which is a small farming town, literally just outside of Forest Grove, just west, going towards the coast. Herman, I love that man. He's from Switzerland. He's probably not in his body anymore. He used to bring us these huge 1-gallon jugs of honey with the comb still in it for my kids. And then he'd bring us the royal jelly. He'd bring us stuff just for my kids at the farmer's market. And he's like, here's what you do with it. The honey is great if you have a wound. The honey is great if you have a burn. It builds your immune system so that you don't get allergies. And he was correct. So every spring, I eat a couple tablespoons every day of bee pollen to build, and it's local bee pollen, to build my immune system. I highly recommend that you do that. You are going to get so much energy from bee pollen. It is a powerful living food. Know your beekeeper, because when you know a really good beekeeper, they love their bees. They would never practice anything negative with their bees. They love them and nurse them and need their bees to pollinate their crops. So I'm an advocate for bees, bee food, bee health, and for humans and for bees and for animals. And when you love bees, they don't sting you. I promise you, they don't. They know that you love them. So again, living food is key to help you to feel good in your body, to relax in your body, and to really tune into your heart. It's how I've been able to really feel everything. It's how I've been able to accept my emotions. I used to literally repress my emotions. I used to feel like, okay, I'm going to cry, can't cry. And because I feel comfortable in my body, I cry easily. I'll cry publicly. I'll cry around anybody. I don't care. If a cry needs to come, I cry. If I feel angry, I will, I'll get it out, and then it turns into humor for me right away. And I noticed that from going into a more fruit vibrational diet than just a green vibrational diet. I used to just really focus on the green, everything was green. So one of the reasons why I'm wearing this green today is because Virgo is all about green in the body and the heart. This is all very heart. I used to focus very much on the green raw vibrational diet. And when I started moving, and it was literally just brought to me, fruit, focus on more fruit. The guides kept saying, focus more on fruit and simple. Here's the last component, and then we're going to prepare for hypnosis. The last component is simplify the combinations that you're putting together to eat. The mono meal, you guys, it's a real thing. It's no BS. It's not marketing. It's not, oh, be a deer and eat what the deer eat. We're not deer. They eat differently than we do. It is literally, if you're going to eat fruit, pick a watermelon and just focus on that watermelon and enjoy it. Because remember, all your food have light codes that your body needs. Thank you. The goal that you all are working towards as a species, as a collective, as humanity, the goal is that you don't need any food at all. The fruit, the salads, and some vegetables, they all have light codes that your bodies need in order to self-sustain. Once you get those codes and your body learns how to make those codes from the food that holds those codes in them, your body no longer needs that food. For some of you, you might have noticed that if you've eaten enough of one kind of fruit, your body doesn't want that fruit anymore because your body now knows how to make those codes itself. Do you see what we mean? Life is a game. And the goal that you're moving towards as you raise your vibration and density from low density to higher density, you're still wanting to be in the physical form. You don't want to leave the physical form yet. It's literally from taking the 3D body into the fourth dimensional perception, is not being codependent upon food to make those codes. Very good. All right. Looks like Irina popped out. She's coming back in. Everybody take a breath. Take a deep breath. All right. Are there any last questions or comments before we go under hypnosis? I didn't hear from Summer or Sarah. And if you guys want to share anything, please do now.
It's all good, Irina. You're fine. Sarah, you're muted. I'm asking you to unmute. I just clicked on that to see if we can get you unmuted. Nope, you're still muted. Something's going to, you guys, Mercury is retrograde, and that does have an effect on our tech devices. Yeah, we still can't hear you. I don't know. While she's figuring it out, Summer, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, I've noticed the more emotional healing that I've done, the less comfort food I need for sure.
Oh, yes. I have noticed that with you too.
Yeah, like when you were talking about cleanse, even like 3-4 months ago, I was that ego, like throat chakra going, no. And now I'm like, yes, that's amazing. So yeah, definitely it's been a huge shift for me lately. Just finding that balance of, like you talked about, no labels and no, like Vivian mentioned, don't read it in a book, don't hear it from somebody else, but what does your body say? And what sounds good? And those things that used to sound so good really don't anymore. And then it's also very fun being so much more connected with my guides because they're very loud about that I told you so when I ignore them and eat it anyways. And then they just laugh at me when I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have had that. They're like, no shit, Sherlock, we told you that. You know this, duh. So just listening to that aspect a lot more as well. But yeah, definitely looking at the cravings going, okay, is this an ego craving or is this the body craving? And being able to understand and recognize the difference now has been big. So so yeah, it's a balance of like, my story with my acupuncturist and looking at food differently from her side of things and just finding that happy medium of what works best for what my needs are and tracking my cycle with what foods work best and knowing, okay, I'm craving this. All right, I must be here in my cycle or whatever it happens to be. So
I'm glad you brought that up about what your body is craving. If you are craving anything, it's because it's old food stuff in your cells and in your small intestine. Viv, you talk about how, you were craving meat. That's because it's still in your cells and it's still in your small intestine. When you cleanse all that out, you no longer crave that. I had to be on a long cleanse in order to get rid of a crazy standard American diet that I grew up with, because I grew up in the Great Lakes states in North America. And, we thought corn was a vegetable. So that, I grew up, you guys, I grew up eating Burger King, Dairy Queen, A&W, large tubs of, and I'm going to Minnesota myself here, Land O'Lakes ice cream that was exclusive to Minnesota back when I was a kid. That was Planters peanuts, the moldiest MSG peanuts on the planet. That was literally what I was eating. And that was still in my cells. And that was still in my small intestine. When you get them out, you don't crave any of that anymore. The body isn't going to crave meat if it has a higher vibrational source of protein. And as long as that's still in your system, you're going to crave it. And yes, that is coming from the mental brain. It is that's not coming from anywhere else.
I find the only thing that I have that craving or want for anymore is Himalayan salt, the minerals. And so that's just for me, it's like, okay, I need to relook at what am I not absorbing? Why am I not absorbing? And then also I up at that point taking more baths with it as well, just to get it into my system other ways too. But like with the sweets, I don't crave that anymore, which is really nice. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm PMSing, I want chocolate, and I'll like find some hidden someplace. I was like, that doesn't sound good anymore. Forget it. I don't want it. So
that's wonderful. Also, a tip: if you are having a craving at any time and you know that you do not need to eat, put a dab of Himalayan crystal salt or Celtic sea salt on your tongue, because your body's looking for minerals. It'll stop the craving, I promise you. If you're on a water fast, take a dab of Himalayan crystal salt and put it on your tongue when you're having cravings.
It'll nip that in the bud immediately. And you will notice it will become so clear to you as soon as you do that and you shut off that craving. It's like, oh my gosh, my craving was mental. And then you can really start to tune into the body and tune into what the body is asking for. The body will communicate to you using every means of communication, every means. Clairvoyance, it'll give you pictures, symbols. Clairaudience, it'll talk to you. You'll hear words. You'll see words coming out. You'll see things out of your own field. Clairsentience, feeling and sensing. And claircognizance, knowing. And then there's the more subtle clairs that are really coming in, the clair taste, clair touch, clair tactile. Literally your nerve endings can pick up light codes from other people's bodies and from their field. And then there is a deeper clair intuitive, clair intuition that's coming on board now. And that's, I don't really even need to be physical anymore. And that's something that's starting to come on board more. But we have multiple clairs. Your body will communicate to you through all of them. And it's essential that you slow down, that you cut off the cravings, and that you get into your body and you get quiet to really listen to what the body is communicating to you in detail. Because it does communicate to you in details. And if you can become very quiet, you can become discerning on what is my body asking for, as opposed to what is my mind programmed to. You really need to become differentiating on those two things. What does my body actually want, and what am I programmed to? That's going to help you. That's super empowering. No one has your answers but you. I cannot say that enough. No one has your answers but you. Everybody's body is also different in its alchemical combinations because we're such a mishmash of different DNA. Are we all designed as fruit eaters, fruit and salad eaters? Yes, we are. But we all have different degrees of that. My oldest son, Colby, loves sour and he loves fermented. He loves those kind of fruits. He loves berries. Those are not my favorite. I really love the sweeter and the subacid tropical fruits. My body doesn't like a lot of acid fruit. So you have to find, and my body also likes fatty fruit. My body really likes avocado, but it doesn't so much like the coconut anymore. And the nuts are fruit. It doesn't really like those as much. It really likes more of it likes really watery, really watery fruit. And this has been a long journey for me. So you have to go on your journey and you really have to spend time disconnecting from the marketing, from the programming. No, you're not going to learn this in books. You're going to learn this through your own experience. And you have to start experimenting because, as the Arcturians are saying, we are the way showers. And it's time for us to shift now in our own vibration to help to raise the vibration of the collective. It's time, especially as we move towards 2030. And there's great shifts. And next year, and I've shared this in every yoga workshop I teach, every webinar I do every month, every session anybody has with me, next year is more intense than this year. It is. And next year, we're tested. This is a test. And we can do this because we are strong enough to. You can overcome your food addictions. Everybody can. Everybody can. And food addiction is probably the hardest to overcome. It is, over anything. I mean, I've talked with heroin addicts, and heroin is hard to overcome, but they don't give up food. Food is the hardest addiction to overcome. All right, let's get prepared for the hypnosis. Make sure that your space is set up. Go ahead and mute your audio and your video. All right, I'm muting everybody. If it looks like I've asked you to mute or ask you to unmute, I haven't. I just clicked a couple people, couple times. Good. Make sure that you're propped up enough so that you're not going to fall asleep. Also, if you fall asleep, that's okay.
If this is your first time going under quantum hypnosis, there's a good chance that you will probably fall asleep. It doesn't mean that you're not going to benefit. You will completely benefit from the hypnosis. And that's also why it's recorded, so that you can practice this as much as you want to on your own and focus on staying awake and staying very alert. So as you're getting set up, there is a very important component to quantum hypnosis to know. The very first information that comes in is the correct information. That's the information that's coming from your higher self, that comes above the crown and down into the heart. The very first pictures and symbols, the very first thought, the very first word, the very first feeling and knowing, those are the correct. So pay attention to the first. The ego will want to come in and it will want to second guess. That's coming from ego. Don't pay any attention to the ego. Literally push the ego off to the side. This is your journey. This is your healing. And we're going to go deep, deep, deep within. So as you get yourself settled, I want you to start focusing on your breath. Make sure that your body is covered up with clothing, with a blanket, with a throw, so that the body feels safe and that you can relax more. Make sure that if you have any external noise, that you've removed yourself from that noise, or you've turned off the noise. Find your breath. Long, slow, deep breaths through the nose only. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing slowly and deeply. Breathe and relax your body. Allow your body to become very, very heavy. I want you to send the breath into your toes, your feet, your ankles. Just relax your feet. Let all the tension go and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the legs, all parts of the legs. Just relax them. Let all the tension go and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the whole pelvic bowl, your hips, the low back, the pubic bone, and all of the internal organs that fill up the pelvic bowl. Just relax them all. Let all the tension go and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the rib cage and all of the internal organs within the rib cage, the entire rib cage. Just breathe, let all the tension go, and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the arms, from the shoulders all the way to the wrists. Breathe into the arms. Let all the tension go and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the hands and the fingers. Let all the tension go as you fill the hands and fingers with breath. And know all is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the neck and the throat. Fill the neck and the throat with breath. Let all the tension go and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath up and down the entire spine. Release all the tension in the entire spine with breath. Let all the tension go and know everything is good. Take a breath. Send the breath into the entire head, into the whole face, into the brain. Fill up the whole head with oxygen and let all the tension go. And know everything is good. Take a breath. And send the breath fully into your heart, the actual physical heart, the muscle, the center of the body that keeps all systems flowing, all electricity flowing, all fluids flowing. Breathe into the heart. Let all the tension go and know that everything is good as you breathe. And now I want you to know that any sounds you hear in your space, any sounds that you hear outside of the space are only natural noises occurring in the background. They will not bother you in any way. As you breathe, I want you to now see your favorite place in nature. Go to your favorite place in nature. It could be the beach. It could be the mountains. It could be an open meadow or someplace else. Go to your favorite place in nature. And as you are in your favorite place in nature, I want you to look around you and see everything that's there. Look at all the things that are around you. Take in all the colors and tune into all the sounds that are there with you in nature.
See all the diversity. If you're at the beach, feel the sand under your feet. Feel the ocean coming. If you're at a lake, feel the water, or the river, feel the water. If you're in an open meadow, look at all of the flowers, the grasses, all of the plants. Notice if the sky is open and if the sun is shining on you wherever you're at. Notice everything that there is around you. Take in every detail. Notice the colors. Notice if you can see the sky. Notice all of the colors of the flowers, the grasses, the water, the sand. If you're at the mountains, notice if there's snow around you. Notice every detail. And now in your mind's eye, as your eyelids become heavier and heavier, and you relax more deeply into your body, notice in your mind's eye, your body. In your mind's eye, look down at your feet. Notice your feet and notice if you're wearing any shoes or if you're barefoot. And I want you to look up your body and feel your body. Notice what you're wearing on your body. Notice every detail of your clothing. Every detail, if you're wearing ornaments, jewelry, notice everything that you're wearing. Notice your hair if you have hair. Notice if your hair is in a style, if you're wearing a hat. Notice everything that you're wearing on your head. And now I want you to look up into the sky. There is a beautiful, big, white, fluffy cloud in the sky. Look up at it and see it. And I want you to do something very magical. I want you to float right up easily to that cloud and sit right in the center of it. It's a magical cloud and it will hold you easily in it. The cloud feels cottony, soft, very supportive, very fluffy and comfortable. It's warm and it supports you completely. And now that you're in the cloud begins to move and you are safe in the cloud. As you move in the cloud, as the cloud is moving, you're looking around you and you can see everything around you. You can see the land. You can see the mountains around you. You can see the blue sky. You can see other clouds, and you can even see the ocean near you. And you are floating and drifting and floating in the cloud. And now I want you to look in the sky ahead of you as you're sitting on the cloud. In the sky, a beautiful golden portal suddenly opens up. The portal is very beautiful and very inviting. And in the cloud, you float right into the golden portal. And you start to fly through the golden portal, slowly drifting and floating and drifting through time and space. And you're going back in time and space, floating and drifting, drifting and floating back in time and space to your childhood in this current life. Going back to your childhood in this current life, floating and drifting, drifting and floating back in time and space to your childhood. And now the cloud is slowing down. The cloud is slowing down, slowing down, down, down. And now the cloud has stopped. And you see at the end of the golden portal an open doorway. And you float right off of the cloud through that open doorway. And you gently float like a leaf going down, 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 and you gently land on the surface to a moment in your childhood. I want you to look around you and acclimate to this moment in your childhood. And as you are here, I want you to go into a moment in your childhood where you are eating with the family at a family meal. You're all together at a family meal. And I want you to look around the table and see your family sitting at the table eating a meal. And you are sitting at the table with your family eating a meal. And I want you to look at the meal that you are eating. Identify everything about the meal, everything that's on the table and on your dish that you are eating from. Identify all pieces of what you are eating. And once you identify all pieces that you are eating, I want you to notice how your body feels about what you are eating. How does your body like what you are eating? Or how does your body not like what you are eating? Notice if you are experiencing an aversion to what you are eating, if you do not want to eat what is on the table. And I want you to notice if your parents are asking you to eat what's on the table. And if you are experiencing any difficulties eating what's on the table, I want you to notice how your parents, your mother or your father, are responding to you not eating what's on the table. Now, if you are enjoying eating with your family, then I want you to notice how your body is reacting to what you are eating. Does your body like what you are eating? Are you feeling like you are one with your family when you eat the same thing that your family eats? Do you feel like you're being forced to eat what is on the table and what your family is all eating? What would you prefer to eat
instead if you are not liking what is on the table. Notice all aspects of this family meal. Notice how you feel about your family, your parents, if you have any siblings, about them. And notice how you feel about the food that you're eating. Notice how you're feeling about eating with your family. And then notice how your body is reacting to this entire scene. Very good. Now, I want you to go back in time. Back in time. Go back in time. We're closing the scene with the family meal. And we're going back in time to when you were an infant, a baby. Go back in time to when you were an infant, a baby. And I want you to acclimate yourself into your body as a baby. And I want you now to come to a moment where you are with your family, with your mother, with your father. Perhaps you have a different family situation. Go into that family situation and begin to see what your parents are feeding you as a baby. What are your parents feeding you? Notice if it tastes good to you. Or notice if you are trying to spit the food out, as babies do that when they don't like the food. Notice if the food is making your stomach feel good and making your mouth feel good. Notice all reactions and responds to the food and to how you feel about it, your body's reaction. Notice if your mother or father or both are making you eat the food. Are they shoveling it into your mouth with a spoon? Or do you have some choice? Are they listening to you when you tell them you don't want food? Are they listening to you when you share with them that you like some of the food? Very good. And now I want you to close the scene and go back in time. Back in time. You're going back in time to when your mother was pregnant with you. You are in her uterus. I want you to arrive in your mother's uterus. And I want you to tune into what you hear, what you see inside your mother's uterus, what you feel, and what you know. I want you to tune into your mother while you're inside of her uterus. Tune into what your mother is eating, because what she eats is what you eat. What is your mother eating? How does she feel about her food? How do you feel about the food that she's eating? How is it affecting your body as it is forming
and developing. Very good. And now let's close this scene and let's go forward. We're going to go forward in time and space. Going forward in time and space to a moment in your childhood where you were eating, whether you're eating by yourself or eating with your family. Go to a moment in your childhood where you are eating and notice what you are eating. Does it taste good? Does it smell good? How does it feel to your body, what you are eating? Does it feel nourishing and inviting? Does it feel supportive? Does it feel heavy? Does it make you feel sick? How does the food that you're eating in your childhood affect your emotions and affect your thoughts? Pay attention to all of the details. And now I want you to see all of the food that you ate growing up. All of the food from the moment that you were conceived and the food that your mother ate that helped you to grow your body through your infancy, all of the food that you ate through your toddlerhood, through your young childhood, and see all of the food that you ate all the way up until you were 20 years old. All of the food that you ate for the first 20 years of your life. And I want you to thank the food. Thank the food for teaching you more about your body. Because we cannot learn about the contrast until we experience it. We are on a journey to discover all of these different aspects of ourself. And eating what isn't good for us can sometimes teach us what is good for us if we are focused on the message. So thank the food that you ate growing up. Some of it may be very good, high vibrational food. Some of it may be very low vibrational food, and thank it. And now I want you to focus on that food transforming. The food that you ate growing up transforms into clean, high vibrational, high electric light filled food, fruits, some vegetables, and leaves, tender baby salad leaves, and some light greens. Focus all of that food now into high electricity, high vibrational food. It glows with light. It has so much light force. And I want you now to bring that food into your body, and I want you to bring it right into your heart and right into your gut, and fill up your heart and fill up your gut with all of that high electrical, delicious fruit and leaves and some vegetables in your body.
And allow all the old food stuff from your childhood just to dissolve. It just dissolves as the high electric food burns it off and fills your entire body and your entire being with light. And now I want you to focus on your heart, your actual physical heart. I want you to go into your heart in your mind's eye, and I want you to see if there are any blockages, anything that's blocking, whether it is hard, sticky plaque, whether it is heavy, dense fat, whether it is old emotions, whether it is negative thoughts. See any blockages in the heart. Once you identify any blockages in your heart, now I want you to take all of this beautiful, high vibrational electric food that you've taken into your body, and I want you to move that into the heart and turn that beautiful high electric food that you took into your body and make it a beautiful, deep, vibrant green, like a Kelly green or an Irish green or green grass. And take that beautiful green color and move it into your heart and clear out all of those blockages in the heart with that beautiful green color. Shine that green color throughout your heart and clear and dissolve all of the blockages. Breathe deeply into your heart and allow the beautiful, shimmery, supportive, loving, clearing green to permeate, to heal, to restore the balance in your body. The heart is the center of the body. It is where all of the knowing originates in the body. It is where all of the feeling originates in the entire system. The heart is clear and the heart is open. And allow the green color frequency to open and expand your heart, opening it up, expanding it, and anything that is blocking it releases. It dissolves and releases. If you feel like you need to cry, cry and release the emotional body. If there are negative thoughts, dissolve the negative thoughts to heal and clear the heart. Take a deep breath as the heart is clearing. Light language codes for clearing out density in the heart center. Iata kiano shukayata iata uchukota yanata akairata ia shikara. Harata sikiana ayati kianu ushukote teata sakaniata. Iata kukunya saka utu shakaniata ara no kakayata ianataka. Hiata su tu tu shuko tu shuko tu rapatatati tu rana tu arata kono tu chikatata arata. Take a breath. Codes for healing and balancing the heart.
Take a breath. Codes for heart expansion in your field. Uyanasakata ahaya. Uniatato huya. Ata ea tuia. Aya ni. Uyaniadu. Arapatako suto tukataka harapataka uru toka ane iata uto tushikatara para tu kete tiara tuku arata tu di dirata ru di dirara tu di dirara. Take a breath. Place your hands on your heart, on your chest. And now, the beautiful tones, the beautiful codes. Repeat this within yourself. I love myself. I love my heart. I am open to learn more deeply about myself. I am open in my heart to feel my life. I am open in my heart to feel vibration. I perceive through feeling. All is well in my body. All is well in my heart. I love myself. I love my heart. Take a breath. And now, with your hands on your heart, see the light within you. Your heart is white light. Your entire being is white light. And as your heart expands, that white light begins to emanate out, out, out. And you begin to touch all the hearts of everybody here in this webinar. Your light goes into everybody else's light in their heart. Everybody is connected through the heart. And then the white light spreads out, outward, outward. Your light starts to expand many hundreds of feet away from your body and starts to connect to all of the other lights in all other humans. All of the light of all the humans, everybody is connected to the light. And you help to connect everyone through the light of your heart and of your being. And then all beings, animals, plants, insects, all ETs, all elements, all beings that are on Mother Earth, Gaia Sophia. You connect your heart light to all other beings' heart light. All beings are connected, and you see the light moving all around Mother Earth as she is cleansing
She is cleaning. She is clearing out her heart center as you clear out your center and connect with everyone through white light. Take a deep breath and feel the connection to all. And now, in your life, you always listen to your body. Every day, you listen to your body. The programming is external. None of that applies to you. That does not affect you in your body. You listen to your body and you eat the delicious food that nature makes for you. You eat the food that your body asks for. You are looking for high electric, high vibrational food, and that is the food that you eat. You love it. You want it. You enjoy it. You share it with others. And you know that you are more relaxed within yourself. You are clearer within yourself, and that you love yourself more. So in that love of yourself, you will only eat food that is loving to your body and that supports you on all levels, because you honor your heart and you honor your body. Take a deep breath. And now that you're very connected with your body, now that you have more clarity and more answers, I'll count to 10. 1, 2, you feel comfortable in your body. You feel healed. 3, 4, you feel relaxed and confident in knowing that your heart is open and your body is cleaning. 5, 6, you feel so relaxed. You feel like you've had the most wonderful sleep, that you've had such a great rest. 7, 8, you feel youthful, vital, amazing, and grounded. And 9, 10, eyes open, wide awake. Take your time coming back in. Unmute yourself when you're ready. If you need to take a drink of water before you unmute, please do. If you need to go to the bathroom, sometimes that happens through hypnosis, please do. Take your time. How are you feeling, Summer?
So zen right now. Like, it's just like such a day of peace. It rained here this morning. It was like, everything is just bliss. I saw a lot more symbols this time than anything else, which was kind of neat. I want to go draw. But yeah,
Good, you got light language coming through.
yeah, it's been a lot more of that lately, which has been really neat. So,
It's wonderful.
yeah, it was good. I feel very, very relaxed and a very peaceful heart.
Wonderful. Irina, how are you feeling?
I feel still in a zone space, but I had some interesting visuals too. I felt like when you said, see your heart, and I saw heart, which is in the shape of human heart, but it's like dry as a jerky. Weird, weird. It cannot even be. It just has no elasticity. It's just literally like muscle jerky. And then the second image just like shift, boom, like all of a sudden it's just like no like transition in between, and I see that my heart has absolutely no shape and form. It extends beyond. It has absolutely no physical form. And that's kind of the most kind of profound in a state of euphoria. And I just need to digest. My mind is not there yet. I had processing a lot through visuals and feelings, but it will come to me.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Sarah, do you have audio now?
Hopefully, can you hear me?
Yay, we can
Ah,
hear
good. Okay, I unplugged and plugged it back in. I was like, stupid Mercury, stop it.
you. Yeah. How is your
Ah.
hypnosis experience?
Nice. Yeah, there was a lot of like yucky, low vibrational food when I was little, like mac and cheese, hot dogs, nasty stuff, you know, because it was cheap and there were a lot of us. I mean, 4 of us. But when I went back into so first when I was very young, like baby food, you know, I would spit out peas and stuff. I didn't like the green stuff, and I ate all the orange stuff like squash and spaghetti when they would like, you know, make it but baby food, a little bit of corn, apricots, things like that. And so I was becoming orange because of all the beta carotene, and my mom freaked out and took me to the doctor, and he's like, is she eating her greens? And she's like, no, she doesn't like the greens. Well, she has to eat the greens. So that was fun. But in the womb, mom was pretty depressed at the time, and so she wasn't eating very much, and so there was a lack of love feeling. Yeah. But what I was going to say earlier when my stupid thing didn't work was after we had that intuitive healing with you, and you just like, I didn't even say anything yet, but you were going all in on the nutrition, and I was like, that was my first question. And so, and you talked about how you break your fast with watermelon. So I went to the farmer's market, which is where I found the pictures of my guides, the paintings of my guides. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I love how how it just evolves, you know, but, I had gotten like this 40-pound watermelon, and it took us like 2 weeks and I was eating it every day. And then I'd have a salad, you know, after the watermelon afternoon. And, but then it started to get like, there was a little bit at the ends there that I had to throw into the compost pile because it was like, you know, not good anymore. So yesterday, my brother went with me. We went to the fair first so he could have his Prano Pups, and I did not eat because it was not noon yet. And I was like, I'm not eating the fried crap. But then we went to the farmer's market again, and I was like, angels, please, there be one watermelon left for me. And there was one watermelon left for me, and because it was like 30 minutes before they closed. And so I got that and another cantaloupe. And this morning, I cut up the cantaloupe. I took all the seeds out, got it all cut and ready to go. So now, because last time I waited a little too long, you know, like a few days. So this time I'm like getting it. And I had Tim, the watermelon for me, didn't know how heavy it was. And I tried to pick this morning from the counter and put it to the other counter on the cutting board. And Kenny actually weighed it for me last night because he was like, holy, you know, yikes. It was 50 pounds. So it's a freaking huge watermelon. Yeah. And so I cut up like at least half of it. So at least the other half that wasn't cut would fit in the fridge. And I packed up a nice container about that big for Tim to take home so he could have some good, yummy watermelon. Man, it just like fills me up. And then my salad is fine. That's all I need. And then I'm good. And then I come home and eat whatever the family's eating. But if they're eating like peas, I still don't like peas or corn. I try to really avoid corn. Oh, that's the funny thing. Mom made shepherd's pie the other day. It was a really good recipe, but there was corn in it. So the first day that I ate it, I picked all the corn out. And then the next day when I had leftovers, I picked as much of the corn out as I could, but there was still a little bit in it. And I was like, oh God, that's not going to be good. And then sure enough, about 20, 30 minutes later, my tummy, it was like not liking the corn. I was like, yeah, this is why we're not supposed to eat corn. But anyway, that's all.
That was good. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, corn in this country is genetically modified. It's all GMO'd. Corn doesn't belong in our bodies anyway. It's a grass. Corn is a grass, and we're not grass eaters. I don't think any of you are going to be going out into a meadow and just pulling up some grass and chewing on it. It's just not very appetizing. So you just kind of have to use that logic with food, what would you literally just go out in nature and pick and eat right away? And stick with that. I would. Julie, how was your experience? Did you stay awake on this one?
I did. I actually had my Egyptian healing rods and
Ooh.
yeah, so that was powerful. And I was all over the place as far as, you know, coming back and realizing what I was realizing and what was happening. And yeah, my parents always had us clear the plate, finish everything on the plate.
The
And I used to
Clean
get in
Plate
trouble.
Club. That's what we call that in my
Yeah.
family, the Clean Plate Club.
Ugh. And I used to like put stuff in my hand and stick it down the drain and clog up the drain. And that's another story. Anyway, but yeah, it was very, very good. And yeah, I'm still processing. So very powerful. It's one I definitely want to do again. And
Mhm.
I'm craving a salad. So it's good.
That's wonderful. Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing.
Sonia.
Yeah. Viv, anything you want to share?
I think just feeling into a lot of what came through was like vaccination.
Oh, yeah.
My right arm went kind of numb, and then I had this other
Oh.
numbing on the right side of my face.
That's blocking your heart
And then
still
I-
from your childhood.
And that I was in that doctor's office that we used to all make jokes about, that all he wanted to do was feel your boobs. Oh, we hated him. We called him the molester. I don't know what we called him, something like that.
Wow.
I can't remember his name in this moment. Oh my God.
That
But
was
whatever.
your family doctor as a child?
Yeah. Yeah. That was what we
Oh,
called him,
wow.
but who knows? And then Uncle High, whatever happened with him, I was eating barbecued meat kind of things like hamburgers. And I think that what came to me was that, like, I have had like this, like, I've got to eat so much food so I go numb, even if it's watermelon or, you know,
That's
like I've eaten
insightful.
7 bananas, honestly. And so it's like, I need to go numb because whatever happened in that childhood experience of sexual stuff, that's still with me. I can feel it. And I'm so excited to, you know, move that through in a whole other way. But
Yeah.
but I could
Viv,
associate.
I'll send you a message about doing a BQH session with me. You would highly
Yeah, but there was suppression in there around meat and sexuality. And so anyway, I do want to say that I've been going to Grocery Outlet of late for reasons. I found some hemp milk there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, they have that fake meat, Beyond Sausage. And it satisfies my soul like nothing else. However, I know what's in it, and I know it's not what I need to be eating, but I'm allowing myself to have that experience. And I didn't buy it again this last time because I know enough not to. But again, I'm just allowing myself that transitional experience. So anyway, it was
Good.
good. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk about you. I'm highly recommend a Beyond Quantum Healing session for you, Viv. We can dive into the Dr. Molester guy on that one and clear that out.
Dr.
L-
Kildare. No, that's
Yeah.
not his name. That was a TV
No,
show.
that was a
Never mind.
TV show.
Kalick, Dr.
Liam.
Kalick. His name was Dr. Kalick. The pervert. That's what we used to call him. The pervert.
Okay. Dr. Kildare. No.
He was handsome.
Oh gosh. Liam, did you want to share anything?
Nothing much except waves, vibrations. It's all energy, folks. I love everybody.
Even Dr. Kildare.
Yeah, we've all got that in us too, you know.
Yes, we do.
Really?
We balance it out.
We do. Absolutely. Jeremy, how was your experience?
Yeah, so I found out why I realized why I wasn't ever really a picky eater, even though later in my life I got sick from eating all the old foods and like the junk and crap. And that's what part of me, or that was part of what led me to eating more healthy and getting into raw foods. but like it's obvious, like yeah, mentally I used to know, I would know, like yeah, like a lot of people associate with food with love, and like that's what that's the reason why like I wasn't a picky eater, because like, oh okay, give me the food, yeah, oh I love it, yeah, it's that's the love, you know. But you know, later just changing my perspective on like, okay, maybe this food isn't loving me back. But yeah, I like the first, like the beginning of it, of the meditation or the hypnosis. I was at this place where usually I go when I do my own healing and go within. It's just this nice nature area with the beach nearby and the wind blowing through. And then way at the end, there's like, if I keep walking further, this is like healing, like this healing area. I didn't go there this time, but yeah, I remember going up, and then I was in the cloud. And then I felt like the cloud was alive and it had its own consciousness. And then I saw the portal, this like the golden portal thing, and it was like light beams. And then I turned into the light particles with it, and the cloud was there still. And then I remember seeing the doorway, and I'm going into the doorway, falling down as the leaf. And then I see that I'm in this memory. I can't remember exactly what it is, like which part of my life, because we've done this multiple times where we've gone on like fishing trips. And I remember it was like this lunchtime during the fishing trip, we were eating KFC, and I remember we ate KFC a lot when I was younger. And man, like, yeah, I remember the greasy chicken and the greasy, like, the like drums. And I remember the coleslaw. It's funny, like, and it's like, I was eating it and I was like, I loved it. Like, I did love it as a child. Like, I actually did, like, I really loved it. And then you were asking like, if it feels uncomfortable, and I was feeling in, and it didn't feel uncomfortable, but it felt like it's just not what my body preferred necessarily, but it wasn't really uncomfortable. But then when you said,
Right.
what would your body prefer? I was like, oh yeah, like in that moment, my body was actually wanting fruits, and it was wanting the vegetables, because my mom did eat a lot of fruits and that sort of thing. But growing up, we always ate like junk food with the healthy food, and it was all mixed in. So the next memory was, or actually, yeah, let's just go to the memory in
Just
the
to
womb.
share this and share this last
Yeah.
part so
Yeah.
that we can get to Sonia.
Sounds good. So yeah, it was in the womb, and I remember that's actually in the womb when I was. It was the KFC again. It was the same food. It was the same thing.
Wow.
A mix. It was a mix of other stuff, like healthy stuff mixed with the like chicken. And then yeah, I just remember feeling like my body just, yeah, it wanted the fruits, and that's what it wanted, like the vegetables and the healthy stuff. But now I just feel
Right.
because I heard the message. I asked my body what was the message it was giving me, and that was that that it's leaving, that crap is leaving out of my body, and to be patient, like the grease and all that junk, it's leaving now finally, after feeling that completely. So yeah.
It's good. That's
Yeah.
that's some really good communication that you got in the hypnosis portion. That was really good. It was a lot of
Yeah.
clarity.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thanks for sharing. Sonia, what was your experience?
Well, before I really even went into hypnosis, I had just this overwhelming sense of grief, and I was crying, and where I was, my comfortable space was my childhood farm, and I was in the strawberry patch. And I was being communicated to by all of the plants in the garden, and all of a sudden all the marigolds and all the other plants that were around. And it's really easy for my ego to want to remember the terrible parts of living on the farm, because I never really wanted to live on the farm. But over the last year, since I've been growing this balcony garden and all these plants, it's like the plant realm has really been really, really, really loud with me. And I was just in this strawberry patch, like I was just this tiny little being in with these strawberries, and they were reminding me how the plants supported the animals and the animals supported the plants. And then I could hear all the birds, and I could hear all of this just soothing peacefulness that I grew up with. I didn't have a lot of stimulation. We didn't shop at the store. Everything was made at home. Everything I learned from my grandmother and my mom. And I I just went into the most beautiful, peaceful space where I feel really emotional about it because I have been having so much communication from these amazing plants. And I have this beautiful violet at my house that's on it's actually on its third bloom this season, which is unheard of. And so I really tapped into this really, really amazing, beautiful aspect of my childhood. And I was a baby and I was wearing a diaper and I didn't have a shirt on and my legs were kicking. And so I didn't have any socks on. And I was just surrounded by all these plants and all these flowers. And I feel emotional talking about this because I remembered today how soft and beautiful my mother was. And I have a hard time remembering her that way sometimes. She's still in the body, but she's a very harsh person. But man, was she beautiful. And it was all the food and all the flowers and all this amazing stuff that I have inside of me that I was in this hypnosis today. And I feel like more completion has just happened in my soul, that I just have so much peace in my body that I didn't, my ego was just kind of blocking from my childhood. And I think that's what this year has been about with all these plants. It's been a remembering, literally like space membering of who I am and one of the major gifts that I have here to bring on the planet. So it was really, really beautiful for me today. Really unexpectedly, really beautiful in a way. I'm just super grateful for something I haven't been able to be grateful for.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I feel all of that. Considering how well we know each other and I
Right,
know your mom.
right.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. It's really profound. Thank you for sharing. Robert, did you want to share anything before we're finished?
Hey, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, that was wonderful. That was 2.5 hours. It seemed like 25 minutes. And the meditation or the hypnosis was terrific. I'll just say one thing and then I will mute myself. Everybody shared their experience and had different experiences, remembering different family things, and somehow I was on Saturn, and that was yeah, so great job. I don't know what else to say. It was just thank you. That was wonderful. Somebody just said they felt more completed. I definitely felt more completed from that. So thank you. I'm going to mute myself. Thanks so much.
Good. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Robert. And thank you for joining our group in the webinar. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here for your participation, your energy, for all of it. Oh, Julie, you're so cute. She's getting in her car. She's driving.
I gotta be somewhere, but I love everyone.
Sweetie,
Thank
sign
you so
off.
much.
You're such a cutie.
I know, it's crazy.
You're so funny. Sign off. You're so adorable. All right. Thank you, everybody, for participating and for being here. And you will get the living recording. And next month's webinar will be part 2. And we're going to be diving into the mental body and the thoughts and how that affects the heart and opening it up even more. So message me, let me know how this has affected you, what you're feeling, if you're feeling more, what insights you get. You know, I always love to hear that. And you'll get the living recording and I'll hopefully see you next month. I love you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Sonia.